This video is made possible by Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a longtime car enthusiast who is dedicated to finding the perfect vehicle for you. Email him at the address on the screen or contact him with his information found in the description below. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2020 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition. Up front is a 3.5 liter V6 and down below is a 9-speed automatic transmission. Guys, I am super excited to be driving this here Ridgeline for two main reasons. First of all, I've never actually reviewed a Honda Ridgeline before. Honda Ridgelines have been made for the last 15 years and I still have never driven one. So today, that ends. But the second reason is the fact that this is the Black Edition. The Black Edition is not only the top trim, but it's a little bit sportier, a little bit cooler, a little bit more hip of a trim, and I'm excited to share those features with you later on. Now, before we get on to the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in selling your car, please click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will buy your car with a salvage title, good title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Please go support the channel by clicking the link in the description below. You can get a fast and easy quote for free, and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. So let's get back to that 3.5 liter V6. Well, it's the same engine you'll find in a lot of other Honda products. Most notably, the Honda Odyssey that I just drove has this exact same engine. And like I said in that video, this engine has been around for 20 plus years. Some version of the J Series V6 has been around the 3.5 liter. And so what that means is that this engine has been put through the test. It's been put in tons of different applications, and it has proven itself time and time again. Honda wouldn't still put this in vehicles if they didn't think it was reliable. So it's a very reliable engine. Horsepower and torque are up on the screen. It doesn't make insane, crazy horsepower, about 280 horsepower, and it doesn't make any crazy torque. That being said, I will put the MPGs up on the screen as well. Again, you have to remember this is a truck that is also all-wheel drive. It is not four-wheel drive. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. So just keep those numbers in mind. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission. It's shifting fine. I don't really notice it. It doesn't feel weird. It doesn't do any weird things, which I really, really like. And that's what I look for in an automatic transmission. I don't even notice it. And that's the best thing it can be. Last but not least, like I said, this is actually all-wheel drive. So technically there's a distinction between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. A four-wheel drive vehicle is selectable. So I can drive around in two-wheel drive, then switch it into four whenever I want to. This is all-wheel drive, which means it sends power to all four wheels all the time. There is no selecting it. The vehicle decides where the power needs to go when. And so that's interesting for a truck. However, as we'll talk about later on, I think that that's totally fine for a vehicle like this. With that out of the way, before we get into the interior, let's talk about the Black Edition and what that means. Well, really the Black Edition is just an appearance package. We get the darkened chrome grille, black wheels, black lower fascia on the front, as well as we get some red stitching in here and red ambient lights in the cup holder and throughout the vehicle. As well as I do get Black Edition stitched on the seats and a little Black Edition badge in the grille. I think overall the Black Edition package adds something a little different. I think it's a little fun. It's not quite a Black Edition Nissan GTR. However, it's a Honda Ridgeline. At least they offer some fun sort of package. You can look at this in traffic and say, hey, that's a Black Edition. It's a little different than your run-of-the-mill Ridgeline. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two physical gauges and a screen. On the left is my tachometer. On the right is my coolant temperature and fuel. And then, like I said, in the center, I get that nice little screen giving me a bunch of different information that I'm cycling through now. Up top, I do have the speed in digits, which is great. And overall, I like the look of this center display. I think this is starting to get a little bit dated, this sort of whole screen setup, and that's across Honda's lineup. A lot of other vehicles are switching to digital dashes. However, that's not to say that this looks bad at all. I pleasantly enjoy the gauge cluster. On the steering wheel, first of all, I have paddle shifters on the back, which is nice. But on the left, I have my select button up at the top for the center infotainment screen. Then I have my source, skip track, and volume, my page button, phone options, and my heated steering wheel options. On the right side, I do have my cruise control. I have radar cruise control in the Ridgeline, which is great. Lane keep assist, and my button for the center screen in the gauge cluster. Has a little eye on it, meaning information. The steering wheel itself feels nice. I mean, I'm pleasantly enjoying the heated part of that steering wheel right now, and it has that red stitching for the Black Edition package. To the left of me, I have my mirror adjustments and my Econ button, as well as my parking sensors on and off, traction control on and off, lane keep assist on and off, pre-collision warning on and off, my cargo light, and my outlet switch. So we'll talk about later when we talk about the bed of this truck is that we do actually have an outlet in the bed, which is amazing. I think all pickup trucks should have that, and the Ridgeline does. On the door, I have my 2 different memory seat options, my power locks and power windows, as well as my power gas cap down below. Also, I have tons of storage in the door, which is really nice. Especially for a pickup truck, something that's more utilitarian, something that, you know, is used and abused as a tool. You know, you can fit your screwdrivers down here, your tape measure, whatever it might be. If you're running to, you know, whatever home improvement store, you can shove all of your little tools down there, and I like that added storage in the door. However, that is not the only place where the Ridgeline is super smart about its storage. But we'll get to that later on. In the center, I do have a nice touchscreen Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It is not wireless, the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, it's nice that it has those features, as well as it does have the stock Honda infotainment. Nothing to note here except for there's a little button here that says truck bed audio. That's right. There are speakers in the bed of the Honda Ridgeline, and so you can control that in the center screen here, which is great. Really, really cool. And again, we'll talk about that bed in a little bit. I'm very excited to talk about the bed because it has a lot of cool features.
I mean, it left him better than Bruce. And yeah, of course. I mean, we saw with what he held the fastest time in FP, I believe, 2.
All right, so I just did a little experiment, and the truck bed audio, which is like my favorite gimmick of this Ridgeline, will stay on below, I believe it was like 5 to 10 miles an hour. The truck bed audio will stay on, but then once I actually sped up, I think it's over 5 miles an hour, it will shut off and come back into the interior only. However, that means that if you drive really slowly, you could drive blasting music from your truck bed. This is great for parades. If you do have floats or things like that, that's great. Or if you're hanging out with your friends, you know, as a kid, I used to go to the Dairy Queen parking lot with my pickup truck. We'd all sit in the back and have our blizzards and listen to music. It'd be great for that. But if you wanted to drive really slowly down your friend's street, do one of those birthday drive-bys, you could play Happy Birthday really loud out of your car with no modifications from the factory, which is super, super cool. Again, the fact that I'm making this like almost vlog style portion of the video just shows how much I love this feature. I think it's really, really cool. So looking at the backup camera, I do actually get a couple different views. This is top down. This is more of a bubble view. And this is more of a narrow view. You could tell, you could see a lot more parking spots on either side with the sort of bubble view. Really, really nice here, but it does distort the image. As you can see, this is flat, but you know, it has that curved fisheye look. I can also turn my parking beepers on and off right there. Very, very nice that it has a couple of those different options. Below the center screen, we do have our climate control options. Very, very basic here. I can actually control the rear climate from the front here, which is very hard to find in other trucks. And so I like that a lot. Heated mirrors, auto, dual zone, all of the bells and whistles you want when it comes to climate control. Then I have a nice little shelf. This is a great area to put your phone, and on either side of it, I get my heated seat options. Finishing out the bottom of the center stack, I do have a 12-volt power outlet and my USB in for that center screen. On the center console itself, I do have 2 cup holders, and this is my shifter.
This is the new Honda shifter. They've gone away with the actual sort of joystick. It's just buttons, and like I always say, I used to hate this. I've actually grown to really like this. So the reason I say that is that if you really don't like this way of shifting your vehicle, give it some time. Drive a vehicle with it, spend some time with it, and I think you might change your mind because I actually kind of like it now. At the bottom of that shifter, I have two interesting buttons. My auto start stop on and off, which is great, but also my drive mode button. So I have normal, snow, mud, and sand. This is for the intelligent traction management. I really like the fact that when you switch the drive modes, it does show you a little graphic of a Honda Ridgeline on those sorts of roads or in those conditions. I really, really like that. I think that's really smart and cool, and that's a nice attention to detail that I look for in modern vehicles. But it's nice that you get that selectability, and of course that will sort of change how the all-wheel drive acts. So I guess you do get some customization. The seats are nice and comfortable. Like I said, heated power memory, and they are finished in that nice black perforated leather with the red stitching and the Black Edition stitched into it. Again, that red stitching is part of the Black Edition package. And overall, very, very comfortable. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So we'll do a back seat review, and then we'll talk about the bed. All right, so we're in the back of the 2020 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition. Red stitching carries on back here, which is very, very nice. But speaking of the bottoms of these seats actually do come up. There's a little pull handle on the side, and the bottoms of the seats actually fold up. So you can stow back here anything you might want to keep out of the elements, or if you need extra room, whatever it may be, you can do that in the back here of the Honda Ridgeline. I do have two USB chargers back there. For amenities, that's really it. I do have a center console here. Two cup holders and a little storage cubby. Again, that's really it. Knee room, not great. My knees are hitting the front seat. However, this is my driving position and I could be better and move it up a little bit. Headroom is actually pretty good. Can fit maybe 3 fingers up above my head, so headroom isn't bad. The nice thing about this back seat is that this feels nice for a truck. A lot of trucks either have half doors or jump seats or things like that. This is something where you could put 4 people in here, go to the store, and like actually be comfortable. Like you'd be fine. So I really, really like that. Again, we'll talk about it more later on, but this is a very dailyable truck. You could live with this every single day and, you know, work with it on the weekends. That being said, let's talk about the bed because we have a couple of very interesting things to talk about back there. All right, so we're on the back of the Honda Ridgeline, and the first thing I want to note is the fact that, open this right here, it is not a soft opening tailgate. However, there is something cool about the tailgate. Put this back up, and actually, if you reach down here, I have to find it, there we go, you can actually open the tailgate sideways. So just like a door, it has little bump stops. This is really, really great because then you can get right up to here and load stuff in. You don't have to reach over the tailgate to slide something all the way towards the back or reach for something towards the back. Now, this panel is great because it comes up, and look at how deep this back area is. First of all, that's your spare tire and jack. But taking this out, look at how deep that is. Now, it actually does have drains. You see, drain there. So you can fill this up with ice. Sorry, that was probably loud. You can fill this up with ice, drinks, you know, you're tailgating. Come on by, pop the back. Fill this up with, this is essentially a built-in cooler, which is amazing. That's really, really cool. Over here, this is where you'll find a 115 volt, 150 watt, 400 watt when the vehicle's in park, wall outlet. So it does not have a third grounding prong for the outlet. I'll get in close here. But the fact that it has an outlet at all is absolutely awesome, and that's hidden back here behind this little plastic thing. Now, this plastic thing is not of high quality, but it is what it is. So I do have 2 tie downs at the front bottom, 2 tie downs at the front top, and then 2 tie downs on either side as well. Very, very useful bed. This part is huge to me. This like little trunk area, I think that's a huge game changer for the Honda Ridgeline. No other trucks that I know of actually have the bed that can actually be lifted up. Now, on the flip side, if you have anything resting on top of this, you can't access this. But it's very similar to the early 90s Honda Acti that was sold in Japan. It was actually mid-engine, so under here was where the engine would be stored, or put, not stored. So very, very cool there. Gives me sort of Honda Acti vibes, but very, very useful. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I've never thought that the Honda Ridgeline looked particularly amazing. However, this generation looks better than the last generation. Really, this does look like a Honda Pilot with the back chopped off, and in all honesty, it's not that far from it, but I think the Black Edition package really adds some nice features to the vehicle. Now I want to talk about the Ridgeline as a whole, get my final thoughts out. And like I said, this is kind of a Honda Pilot with the back chopped off. Why would anyone want this truck? It's not hardcore like a Chevy Silverado or a Ram 1500 or an F-150. If you need to tow a fifth wheel camper or a race car or tons of snowmobiles up to Michigan, the Honda Ridgeline is not the truck for you. However, where I live, I am very much a quote-unquote city boy. At home, the buildings around me are an Apple store, a Whole Foods, Target, and a Lou Malnati's. There are no off-road spots around me. You got to drive about an hour to find that. There's like 2 cornfields that I can think of within driving distance. And I mean, look, right now, look at where I am. This is downtown Romeoville, Illinois. Why would I need a lifted truck here? Believe me, you still see them, but it's more of a style thing than an actual practicality thing. I don't need a lifted pickup truck here. I can't tell you the last road I drove down that I thought, man, I wish I had 4-wheel drive. And so my point in bringing that up, sort of outing myself as a very sheltered, soft man-child, is the fact that I really don't need any more pickup truck than the Honda Ridgeline offers. Yes, it's cool to go to a dinner party and tell people that your pickup truck can tow the Titanic. That's a fun statistic to throw out, but really, living with a vehicle, driving it every single day, I don't need much more than this. I mow my grandparents' lawn. My lawnmower would fit in the back of this truck very easily. I also build classic Mazdas. That is my hobby, of which I have many videos about here on the channel. And so I've had to move a rotary engine. That would fit fine back there. You could fit like 5 rotary engines back there. The Honda Ridgeline can tow 5,000 pounds. That's enough to tow my RX-7. If I really wanted to tow the RX-7 to a track day, I could do it with this. This is all the truck that you really, really need. And I want to make that point because I think the Honda Ridgeline kind of gets joked on because people think that it's not a legitimate pickup truck, because it looks like a Honda Pilot, because it doesn't have a huge bed, and because it's not body on frame. I love Chevy Silverados and Rams and F-150s and Tundras and Tacomas. I love a good pickup truck as much as the next guy, but driving this drives like a regular comfortable SUV. This doesn't have the harsh ride of the Silverado, of the Ram, of the F-150. I'm not punished when I hit a pothole. There, that was just a lifted Silverado. That guy doesn't need that around here. What is he driving over? I get it, Illinois roads are bad, but you don't need a lifted truck for that. There's no need for lifted trucks around here. Now, if you're down in Texas, sure. If you're out in Wyoming and the next human being is 13 miles away from you, yes, get a lifted truck. But for me, why would I need anything more than this? This is a near perfect city truck. I think it's a little bit big for like actual downtown living, such as downtown Chicago, but an in-town truck, this is all you need. This is all you need. You're going to be able to do your weekend projects with this truck. You're going to be able to move your dresser to your new house in the back of this truck. This is still very useful. And like I keep saying, I'll say it one more time, this is all of the truck you really need in a suburban area. You people off in the country, get your lifted F-150s. But for me, this is all I need. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Francisco from the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Please give him a call, shoot him an email. Francisco is a car enthusiast himself, so he actually really genuinely cares about the products. We were chatting this morning when he was giving me the Ridgeline about how he actually cares about the products, which is hard to find with a salesman. Most salesmen are just there to push pencils, but Francisco really truly cares, and so he is going to treat you right, and he's going to get you into a vehicle that fits. He's not going to shove you into the highest priced vehicle or something that doesn't suit your lifestyle. If you live in town and you want a truck, this will suit your lifestyle, so head on over to Honda of Joliet, reach out to Francisco. He will help you find a vehicle, and he has been absolutely awesome. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.